I'm Teresa Carraggio, and this is Third Paradigm. I'm making this just before the weekend of my 67th birthday, which I'm spending with my daughters. So this will be quick because I have lemon tarts with almond chocolate lime crust to make. I have hot pink go-go boots to pack. I have wholesome astrology to read. But before that, I wanted to put this out on the Temple of Auset. And Auset is the Egyptian word for Isis, the same goddess in two different forms. Some of the things I'll be talking about is claiming my power as a geriatric sex symbol, and why women need hope, especially the young. And I'm going to look at how to put all your multiple personalities to work. Then I'll mention Isaac Middle's wholesome astrology chart that he did for me. And I'll end by looking at the 13 wounds of Ausir, which is also the name Osiris that Auset puts back together, and what those represent to me. Let's get started. Let's start with claiming my power as a geriatric sex symbol. Some of you who are very kind will be saying, "You don't need that word geriatric, Teresa." But yes, I do, because that's what makes it interesting. That's what makes it not about me, but about who we are when we've got no fucks left to give about the male gaze. And many of us, I know, especially on my crew, were early adopters with that. I'm going to tell you something that I've really debated being able to say, but thinking about myself talking to Amy, who loves me, makes me think, yes, this is something we need to bring out. Everywhere I go, women tell me I'm beautiful. Sometimes it will be women who are coming out from a restaurant who are admiring my outfit, and who wouldn't? And that's just fun. Other times, it'll be a deep conversation at the farmer's market with a woman who has gone through a hard divorce and is a single mom, and who sees a woman who's mature and in possession of herself. And it does her heart good. And sometimes it will be young women, and there'll be a wistfulness about the way that they say it. And what I can tell they're thinking is, oh my God, I've got so much life to get through. And being able to see someone on the other side of that is something that makes them believe that people like that sociopathic psychologist that I had in the Zinnia and Zoomer girl derangement episode, who say that women peak at 18 and it's all downhill from there. They're not right. That life can be completely unexpected. That you can be resigned to just getting older and being fine with that in your 40s, in your 50s. And then your 60s, ba-bam, you can find a dance class that changes everything. Your life is not something that is just a trajectory that's like anyone else's. And I think that young people especially need that. What my daughters have said is, what you represent is hope. And that's something that I think is in short demand, especially for the young who are looking at this concept of the male gaze and saying, how am I ever going to get out of that? And there aren't models of mature women being able to say, honey, don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. And really, that is not your life. Now let's look at putting your multiple personalities to work. I've been watching ZXI, which I have had in previous episodes, and it is this young woman who talks about getting in touch with your inner masculine, that your inner feminine is the one who is dreamy, who says, here's what I'd like to do. And your inner masculine says, let's make that happen. This has revolutionized my life. All of a sudden, I am no longer feeling resentful about certain things that I need to get done. Instead, my inner masculine just takes care of it. I had to leave my conditioning class early the other day because my inner masculine was saying, come on home, honey. Let me make you an omelet. I know just how you like them. And my inner masculine is going to deal with the termite problem and without exploding the house over something he doesn't want me to worry my pretty little head over. This is genius because what it lets you do is take care of yourself, but in a way where you don't feel like, oh, do I have to do everything? Instead, my inner masculine can set up the coffee machine before he comes to bed, and then I could get coffee in bed if I wanted. This is something I think we all need, whether you are partnered or not. I don't know how it works in terms of the inner feminine, but I would imagine that the inner feminine could cook dinner and the inner masculine could wash the dishes, whichever you prefer. But there's something about separating those parts of yourself and saying, let me take care of you in a way that intuits exactly what it is that you want and you need and just does it. Now let's go to young Isaac the Middle's wholesome astrology. If you've seen Isaac do his sunrise rants where he hikes up the mountain while talking, or if you've seen him rock out on his drums at the end of his rants, you could be forgiven for forgetting that he has a PhD in urban and regional planning. But if you were so lucky as to receive one of his 90-page astrology charts, you will never make that mistake again. This is some serious scholarship. This is an education in how astrology works and a reminder that people in ancient days knew a heck of a lot more than we do now about the planets and how things work and where things are in conjunction to other things. This was such an eye-opening experience because I don't think Isaac ever mentioned my sign as Taurus. I think that he deferred that and said, go talk to somebody else about those rising signs. It seems like the approach that he takes is more from India, where he talks about the Vedic nakshatras and all kinds of things that I had no idea about. So I have not read all of that, but I plan to because it brings an entirely different perspective. And not only does Isaac have the intuition and the way of wording things that makes it where it brings out different relationships. For instance, he talks about those rising signs as being a stained glass window, and that's something that gives a color and a pattern to your everyday life. But there's different things that are brought out in relationship to others. And in those circumstances, these are what excel. I think he's taken this to a whole new art form. And I will, of course, link so that you too can find out about what the stars have in mind for you and what are the particular challenges that these are giving you a way of working through. Isaac also talked about my moon sign having the characteristic of courageous protection, and that's the fierce mother energy. He said that a quality of this is being able to use the occult or religion or philosophy and apply it in very practical ways. That It's going into the underworld and healing those wounds, in particular the wounds of the last 4 years. This really struck me with this Temple of Auset, because what in the myth Auset does is that she finds all the pieces of Ausir, who is Osiris also, and that has been dismembered by Set. Set is the god of destruction and chaos and Judaism. He is also Seth. So this is Yahweh, and he has taken the parts of Osiris and torn him limb from limb and scattered all the pieces. So what Auset does is go into the underworld, is find all of those pieces and take all 13 pieces that she finds and heals those wounds. The one missing piece is the penis, and somehow they are able to conceive Horus, which is the Christ figure also, and put that out into the world, the word that horizon comes from, the rising sun. So Isis, or Auset, is both the wife and the lover and also the mother. There is that sense of maturity and wisdom and being able to go and brave the underworld and take all of these pieces. So in Egypt, there are 13 different cities that each have a temple that contains one part of Osiris or Ausir. These temples all show the different parts of Ausir that have been dismembered, and they memorialize them and bring them together, and each one honors a different part. So I started thinking about what are the different parts that have been taken away from us? How is it that our consciousness has been dismembered? What is it that we need to remember and put back together? This was the list I came up with. 1, the words. 2, the past. 3, the land. 4, the animals. 5, the water. 6, the sky. 7, the blood. 8, the body. 9, the family. 10, the community. 11, the spirit. 12, the self-inclusive. And then 13, the one with God. And I have a meme on the Substack that says, "You are the chosen one, and so is everyone else." And if you go to the Substack, I have 2 fun videos that were sent to me by Neferhotep that illustrate that first step of remembering the words so that we're not stuck with these words that are spells that force and channel our ideas in ways that they want us to think. So these are really fun on ancient Egyptian, and one is a song that has been put to music and that he does in 5 different versions of himself, and the other one says, "What is ancient Egyptian?" and gives a really interesting lesson on that. And for my last 2 years of birthday videos, I didn't realize quite how cheery these were. Here is Hazy Days and Tinfoil Skies on geoengineering and atmospheric rivers and bomb cyclones. And this is Opioids and the New Opium Wars, which also includes fentanyl. So to celebrate my birthday, go out and have a wonderful weekend. Furry pink boots optional. And also, it is never too soon to become a geriatric sex symbol.